In the modern world of the internet, information is accessible in just a few clicks. This is a blessing and a curse. With information being so abundant, there are bound to be a few bad actors. Some people want you to believe certain things because it makes money, or it brainwashes you. In the age of the internet, it can be hard to know what's true and what's fake. These lies and money hungry companies are an attack to academia and information as a study. The root cause of these lies are not individual people, but a lack of academic honesty. Anyone can be academically dishonest. To be academically dishonest, you need to not care about objective truths and believe logical fallacies. The battle of emotion and feelings, or facts and truths. The Gosford Glyphs is a historical site found in southeast Australia next to Gosford in the Kariong National Park. The site was discovered by Alan Dash sometime in the early 1970s. Alan Dash is a local surveyor hired by the Gosford Council. On one of his weekly trips, Alan was astonished by what he saw. There is an outcropping in the rocks covered in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. He has no photos from the first expedition, but in the years, Alan would visit the site once in a while. However, something wasn't right. He noticed that the carvings in the national park were being added to. Alan would later say during one of his trips in the national park he would find a Yugoslavian man with a chisel. Although this is the only mention of this man, it still puts the validity of this site into question. In 1983, Ray W. Johnson, an amateur with no formal education in Egyptology, translated the glyphs. According to Johnson, the glyphs tell the story of two princes, Neferreru and Neferjizeb, the sons of the pharaoh Khufu, who were stranded in Australia after being lost at sea. Neferreru died from the snakebite. Their tale was inscribed on the rocks. However, Johnson's translation faced skepticism from experts due to his lack of credentials and the accuracy of his interpretation. Experts were also concerned of his translation because on the wall the hieroglyphs seemed to be from different writing systems that evolved over thousands of years. One expert stated the hieroglyphs within the same panels were from widely different periods and some were even carved backwards. Other theories from their creation include high school students who copied them from their textbooks in the 1970s. However, even after an Egyptologist's opinion and a rock art expert, David Lampart, stating that some hieroglyphs weren't older than a year due to the lack of lichen, people still believed this fabricated story. The people who believed in this conspiracy theory were mostly locals not willing to have something like this disproven. This story would go mostly unnoticed and forgotten for the next 30 years. Ancient Aliens is a TV show run by the History Channel. Ancient Aliens is known for its fringe theories and lack of academic honesty. This episode has many conspiracies. The two people featured in this 5-minute part are Giorgio A. Tsoukalos and Evan Strong, an astronaut theorist. Evan Strong goes on to state after reaching the site,
So what do these hieroglyphs say?
Well, at least one panel talks about two brothers, two princes, coming here from Egypt. They were shipwrecked. One of them ended up getting bitten by a snake. He then died. The theory is then he was interred here, and that's why you've got hieroglyphs here, because he died here. But there's these other walls with a mixture of symbols. This one over here, it's more of a philosophical astrophysics style thing with symbols meaning all sorts of esoteric stuff. So
after this, Evan goes on to state that Ray Johnson was the Egyptologist that translated the glyphs. The description in this 30-second clip is not even what Ray Johnson had even stated. You can see in these pictures the full translation. The implication of this implies that Ancient Aliens, owned by the History Channel, doesn't even do their own research on the conspiracies they peddle. Evan Strong would know this if he had an ounce of academic honesty. When Evans stated the symbols are philosophical astrophysics style thing with symbols meaning lots of esoteric stuff, the statement means absolutely nothing. The glyphs that are referred to here are on the east wall. Many experts state that the east wall is barely even legible. They don't even look like a pictograph. They are very, very, very poorly done. Just remember, the Gosford glyphs have been disproven for over 25 years. Actual experts on the topic have even stated, "I saw them a few years ago. There aren't any connected texts that make any sense at all. People just don't want to believe they are fake. They want this connection with ancient Egypt to be true, but unfortunately it's not." I have never translated any Fax Egyptian hieroglyph inscription in Australia. Those rock inscriptions were clearly not done by any ancient Egyptians. With all that being said, none of this would have mattered if the people watching this episode questioned what was being told to them. This was not the case. Online over social medias like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, people believe these lies and actively spread them. It is essential for the public to understand the importance of verifying information before accepting it as truth. In this case of the Gosford glyphs, many people wanted to believe in the connection of ancient Egypt, but the evidence simply doesn't support it. This is not just a problem with the Gosford glyphs, it's a problem with academia and pseudoscience of the modern world. We see this behavior with other conspiracies, like aliens in Egypt, the Baghdad Battery, the Illuminati. This is not a new problem. The bridge between science and pseudoscience grows, and it's academic dishonesty that is the cause. As someone interested in media literacy and science communication, the public should be verifying things told to them by these channels. But at the same time, I don't necessarily blame them. These multi-million-dollar companies should take the time to research and be academically honest and tell the truth.